Did you all see the Sparking Zero trailer that came out a few days ago? It was kind of like Toonami themed. Yeah, it was cool. They were trying to get the music from that Toonami era, and they were trying to license it. It was just becoming difficult. And I said, guys, I used to just make music during this time. You want me to go ahead and make you a track? And they said, I guess so, sure. And then I did.
There is some massive hype for that game.
Oh God, yeah. Well, it's a great game.
So excited for that game. It looks really, really good.
Raise your hand if you haven't pre-ordered the game yet. Okay, there's only 3
But I'm gonna.
There's a couple. There's a couple.
Pretty much everyone's pre-ordered that game.
I've been interesting question. Something I want to ask you guys.
Yeah.
I was reading about this. My wife is a huge fan of James Marsters, who is Zamasu. And we learned that he was convinced to do that role by YouTube after the Abomination movie that
Well,
never
it
talked
kind of went
about,
down like
right?
this. He made friends with me, and then we were talking about it, and I thought he was a cool guy, and I realized that when he was on that movie, he was a big Dragon Ball fan who was constantly begging them to do it right, and I thought this guy needs some redemption. So I introduced him to Chris, and Chris said, I'll read him for something. And then he read him for, I mean, we read everybody, we're not just going to throw somebody on it, and Chris read him for the part, and he did great.
What was, were you pleased with, I was...
Oh, I think he's...
And I'm having a few mic issues. The NFL's going and taking all the channels. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what's
NFL?
happening.
How do they take it from inside here?
They're on, I don't know.
They tackled your mic.
NFL has drones outside?
Something. Because they're right here. There's a game right here.
I love the face you're making is like, don't notice me on the stage when you're like clearly on the stage, like very obviously. You know, I'm like, don't notice, if I make this face, no one will notice me.
Clearly, it just does not like your voice.
These guys are killing it trying to make it work. Thank you so much to the AV team. I was shocked. I didn't realize it was him because I know it was kind of like a hidden secret. And he just got a lot of guff from the King Piccolo role. And do you know, was he pleased with how everything went from then on?
He was he was very, very happy. We were just happy to have him. I remember when Sean had messaged me right when he was like, James Marsters is here at the convention. It's like, would it be weird if I talked to him? Like, I think it'd be weird if he didn't have a funny story about working on that film. He probably would want to talk about it. He goes, do you think he'd want to? I'm like, I bet you he's got some crazy stories. And yeah, it was really nice to have him. The crazy thing is he just did it for free too.
Really?
He never got paid to do it. He did all of it. Every bit of the work. He never received a penny for it.
Wow. Just a fan deal. I have an interesting story. I met him years ago when I lived in California. My little sister was diagnosed with cancer, a very lethal rhabdomyosarcoma cancer. So there's an organization in California called OCF, Orange County Foundation for Oncology Children and Their Families. And we went to some big ball or gala or something, and there was a whole bunch of celebrities there, and he was one of the people there, and I remember getting to meet him. I think he's the first celebrity that I ever met, and it was a cool experience, and then to bring it all full circle and see, oh, he was Zamasu, and Chris and Sean kind of like...
He's deeply passionate about Dragon Ball. Like, when I met him, he's like, you don't understand, I make my son watch this, I teach my kids this stuff. I don't know how many kids he has, but he was telling me how he teaches his children, because I make them watch it, and like, to him it's like a religion in his house, is the way it came across to me anyway. He'd have to clarify that, but yeah.
He said he was researching the role for the feature. Because I don't know if you guys know the whole story of kind of how Dragon Ball Evolution evolved. It was supposed to be this massive $300 million film directed by Stephen Chow, who's if you know of his direction, he's amazing. But it ended up just not having the right budget, things changed and so forth, so it wasn't quite what he expected, but he had worked really hard and watched a lot of Dragon Ball, was a huge fan.
Yeah, he is.
It's such an awesome story, that's so cool. So, a question that I have for you, obviously, you voiced Vegeta, and you've also voiced All Might. What's it like going from what started as one of the biggest villains in anime and had this beautiful redemption arc, and then voicing somebody who just from the get-go is one of the biggest heroes, but then kind of, spoiler, has to stop being, a hero. what do you think about that process? Did you think about that in the character development as you went through voicing those scenes? What was that like for you?
I felt like All Might kind of came into my life at a time where it felt weirdly parallel with my life as it was. Like, I remember when we worked on Dragon Ball back in those days, I would record Sean for 10, 12 hours a day, and then I'd go and record for 8 hours until the middle of the night, and then repeat that. And much like All Might, I can now record for about an hour before I start spitting up blood, you know what I mean? And I felt like it was all of the other roles that really helped me understand a character like All Might, and all the other screaming. I tell people that All Might is just one of those characters that hits a lot of the notes of all the other characters. And something that's interesting about My Hero Academia is well, it's because
he took all the might from all the other heroes.
I took all the might. The might was gone.
He took it.
But here's something that Dragon Ball doesn't have, that My Hero Academia has: threat of death.
Oh yeah, because they don't got Dragon Ball.
That's right.
Sense beings and wishes, right?
That's right. Dragon Ball, they're never afraid. The scariest thing that's ever going to happen in Dragon Ball is this story I've imagined in the future where Gohan is told that he's no longer allowed to bring anyone back with the Dragon Balls, and he has to watch people he loved pass finally.
It's like totally shocking because this whole universe has never had to deal with anybody dying ever.
I've never really thought about how much technically plot armor is in Dragon Ball Z because nobody really is at threat of dying. That's an interesting way to.
But they act afraid when it's about to happen.
Yeah. So, Sean, I know you deeply love the character Goku. You've put so much into Goku, and I know he means a lot to you. What do you think he means to fans and people that grew up with Goku?
Well, they tell me.
Yeah,
you
so
know?
What's that like for you?
And my love of Goku isn't necessarily because I love the character so much. I do. It's more about what the character does for people, you know? Yeah. And so the number of stories I hear for the last 25 years of just, you know, I shared this with my brother who died. I shared this with my partner who died. I got through my SATs because of it. I lost 100 pounds because of it. I beat this bully because of it. All of it is like made my time on Earth worthwhile. I also don't have children, so all of my Dragon Ball fans are my kids. So I'm always proud when they, you know, tell me a story about how they overcome some sort of adversity. And if my voice was a small part of it in their ear, even if they listen to any other language version, it doesn't bother me. But you know, the character, and so when I'm playing the character, you know, I'm probably the most nitpicking actor on the show. Probably maybe Damon Mills might be a little more biggie, but I probably care a little too much because I'm aware of the psycho-spiritual, deep karmic effect it has on people over time. And if I don't do it believably, especially the little kids, Akira Toriyama's message and the power of it's lost unless bullies get defeated. So I'm always aware of that since the day I started, that cause and effect, to the point where when I heard my voice on a bunch of TVs at Target in early 2002, I was just tripping out and called my friend. I was like, so the kids are growing and my voice is knitting in the synaptic pathways as they're developing. And I was overwhelmed with incredible responsibility because I know how that affected me as a kid because I remember my childhood really well. There are certain voices, certain characters that are just part of my childhood because I was literally forming while those things are being put in my head. Which is why, you know, censorship and other things are so important because kids are big sponges. And so if they're gonna be a sponge for what Goku's doing, I want it to be the right and the most believable thing. So that's how I approach it.
Well, y'all are sitting on stage with one of those people. I was watching Dragon Ball Z when I was 13, 14. Rush home every day from school, make a bag of popcorn, make a glass of lemonade, watch the new episode of Dragon Ball Z. And
that's the mission.
Yeah, those characters, the things that those characters were going through helped me and knitted me into who I am. And like the Vegeta at the very beginning, Goku giving Vegeta mercy instead of having Krillin kill Vegeta. And that led Vegeta into...
I question Goku's mercy sometimes, because like a lot of times it's legit, but other times it's like, I'll give you mercy so I can beat your ass later. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because he likes it. And I'm hoping you're good at beating me up a bit too. Because I'd like to get, if you're too weak, he doesn't want it. He wants Broly, you know?
And Vegeta, it's lucky that the show wasn't up to him. Because he was like, let's go beat him now!
It's almost like in Dr. Evil with Scott. It's like, there he is, just shoot him right there, just do it. And they won't do it, you know?
Yeah.
And Vegeta's like, Scott, you know?
So obviously, there's a bunch of people here. We all nerd out on anime and Dragon Ball Z and a bunch of other things. I know both of you gentlemen are very talented in other fields besides acting and voice acting.
Well, Chris was able to do the music because he went to
Right,
music school,
right.
and I went to music school where I went to music school, but at a different time. So we both have background in music. Yeah.
Right. So you love music. Besides music, is there something that you guys nerd out on, or that you like to collect, or things that you're passionate about?
But usually, it's usually weird musical instruments or cool synthesizers. Like it tends to be music related, or it tends to be an odd meme that he finds particularly funny, or a meme I made up that's kind of a dad joke that I edited a photo that I thought was funny that he doesn't think is very funny. Because I keep writing these dad jokes to Yahoo News, or I don't know, it's so stupid. Some of them are very funny. But yeah, you do? Oh, good. 'Cause I wrote another one last night.
Good.
It was really good. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get it soon. Sean likes to send a lot of funny memes.
Oh yeah, but I use the ones I create.
But he makes them, which I appreciate.
But I do a shitty job because I'm terrible at all the editing. So there's one right there you can't read out loud. You can't read that one out loud.
Nope. You can read I can read the one that you sent me.
Which one?
It was about, let's see, hold on.
Which one? I hope
It's not bad, I liked it. Hold on.
Was it funny?
I have to scroll, it's Sean, so I have to scroll through a lot to find it.
Find it.
There's,
the mystery.
it says, Virgin Atlantic to open a new clubhouse lounge in LAX airport next year. Here's who can get in, TV's Christopher Sabat.
That's what I added to it because there was a news article about this new lounge, and he can always get in the freaking lounge. He always can. I said, who can get in? Only TV's Christopher Sabat. And the reason I said that is because when we first got on Dragon Ball, he would jokingly refer to himself as TV's Christopher Sabat, and I always thought that funny because we heard people would say that in the 70s. Like if a celebrity came on TV, they go, TV's Dukes of Hazzard, right? And he was making fun of that now that he was on TV, and so it was particularly funny to me to call him TV's Christopher Sabat.
That's awesome.
As if TV owns you.
You are a memer. You make your own.
I make my
That's
own
great.
memes.
That's great. Everybody, let's have a round of applause for Chris and Sean.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And Chris, are you leaving early? Are you staying the rest of the day?
I'm staying the rest of the, but I have a flight to
Tonight. Okay, I'm staying the rest of the day tonight because I'm not leaving till tomorrow because I know some folks have been upset that I'm leaving on Sunday. So you don't worry, we'll take care of all you. Come to our table, and I'm staying till close or beyond. So it's all good. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.